Treasure thief story. When King Ramesses III first ascended the throne, the king had a desire to marry Helen of Troy, but then realized that because of Helen's demise, he gave up this thought. In the first year of his reign, Ramesses defeated the invasions in Libya and Palestine, but he was not a king who liked war, so he decided to establish peace with neighboring countries and encourage the development of foreign trade. This made Ramesses III the richest pharaoh. His treasures are countless, from gold, silver, precious stones, to rare products. The more treasure there is, the more Ramesses fears that someone will steal it. So he called the eminent architect Horemheb and said, "Build me a building with walls that nothing can penetrate, and floors of hard stone so that no one can dig in from below. And that building must be many times higher than the top of the pyramid, so that no one can climb from the top of the pyramid." Horemheb promised Pharaoh that he would build him a unique treasure storage place in the world. No one could destroy it. After that, Horemheb designed and called in all the skilled workers in Egypt, day and night, to chisel the hardest rocks at the edge of the desert, above Sinene, to bring back to build the building Pharaoh requested. Day by day, month by month passed. Gradually Ramesses' treasure house was completed. To this day, it is called the Temple of Ramesses III, or Medinet Habu. It was built so tightly that no fly could get in or escape. Inside are heavy stone doors, iron or bronze doors, not easy to break open to get inside. The treasures were moved into each private chamber, where the door was locked by the pharaoh's personal seals, which no one could copy. However, Horemheb made a secret path in the thick wall, with a stone crank to open and close. It was no different from a normal wall. The secret was spotless. Unless you are a brilliant and talented architect, no one can realize the existence of this road. This road was made so that he could enter and exit, adding more treasure to the pharaoh's piled-up pile of treasure. But unfortunately, not long after, Horemheb passed away from a serious illness. Before he died, he told his two children about the secret passage. After Horemheb left the world to meet the god Osiris, Ramesses buried his body in the noble's tomb in western Thebes. As for the two sons, they took advantage of the knowledge their father left behind. Over time, the king noticed that his treasure was disappearing. Because Horemheb did not tell him about that secret path, it was even more surprising that no door was broken, or any wall was chiseled. He began to become worried, often going back and forth to that place, but the treasure continued to disappear. Frightened by the situation of being penniless, Ramesses ordered traps to be placed near the items that had not been stolen. The two brothers did not know this. When they went in there to try again, the older brother was trapped. The older brother quickly called the younger brother out and begged, "Little brother, I've fallen into Pharaoh's trap, and you can't help me escape." Perhaps he would be killed if the pharaoh discovered that he, the son of the architect he trusted most, was. Not only that, they will torture you and force you to reveal your accomplice, which is me. Whether you live or die, he will condemn our entire clan to death. So please, take your sword and pray for me to pass Osiris's test and reach the afterlife. Cut off my head, then take me with you. At that time, no one will recognize who you are. Our family will be safe from Pharaoh's wrath. The younger brother tried to remove the trap a second time, but to no avail. So, he decided to sacrifice his brother to save his family. The younger brother swallowed his tears, followed his brother's wishes and returned. He buried his brother's remains with all reverence. The next day, Pharaoh went to check and discovered a headless, naked body lying in a trap. There was no sign of a secret entrance, nor any sign of breaking the door. But Ramesses did not give up so easily. He ordered this body to be hung outside the palace wall for the guards to guard. If anyone tries to take it down to bury it, or cries over it, take it back. The mother heard the news that her son's body was hanging on the palace wall and immediately cried to her younger son, saying, "If your brother's body is not buried properly, his soul will never find peace there. Duat, nor is it brought before Osiris. Your brother will forever wander the earth like an unknown ghost. So, bring your brother's body here or I will go before Pharaoh, asking for the favor he bestowed upon your father. If he sentences you to death, I will bury you in the same tomb as your father, the least that I can do." The son tried to convince that his brother was buried with his father. This was his will. Because he didn't want to trouble his mother and younger brother, he chose to make sacrifices. But no, the mother definitely did not agree. In the end, he disguised himself as an old merchant, leading 2 donkeys carrying jars of wine along the city wall. As he passed the guards, he pretended that the wineskins in leather skins had been rubbed by their weapons, causing them to puncture and begin to flow everywhere. Then he cried and screamed in front of the city gate, not knowing which vessel to start with to stop the flow of wine first. At this time, the guards began to pour out to help him. Thanks to that, he used an excuse to thank them and offer them the best wine. As the guards became tipsy, the sun's rays finally disappeared. Night fell, he quickly removed his brother's body and carried it in a skin, loading it on the donkey with other goods. As for the guards, Pharaoh ordered them to beat them with hundreds of sticks for being drunk while on duty. At any cost, I must get the person who stole my treasure. He was angry, but then quickly came up with a new plan. She chose to marry the most beautiful daughter, let her pretend to be an overaged girl from a strange land and then let her stand in front of the city gate with the promise that she would marry someone who would tell her the wisest and wisest actions. The worst of their lives. Oh, but no idiot would confess, especially the guy who stole both the treasure house and his brother's body. So he came to find her at sunset, carrying with him one of the arms of the recently executed man, hidden under his cloak. He declared that the most terrible thing was to cut off his brother's head when he was caught in the pharaoh's trap, when they stole his treasure, and the most unwise thing was to take his body back in front of many people. Many guards. At that moment, the princess called the soldiers to arrest him, and even quickly grabbed his hand so he could not escape. However, amidst the crowded guards, he quickly slipped away and left the princess's arm holding hers. Pharaoh Ramesses III realized it was impossible to kill this guy, so he declared, "This man is too wise. Killing him would be a waste of national resources. If he serves me with honesty and loyalty, I declare that I will absolve him of his sins, granting him wealth, fame, and my daughter." In the end, the younger brother married the princess, becoming a loyal servant of the pharaoh. And the secret of the path his father built will be buried forever. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.